I am Brian.
I am Julius.
This is the Ascendant Project,
Welcome.
and this episode is totally unscripted.
Yes, very unscripted. So if you're tuning in expecting there to be an essay, you did not miss the essay. We did not forget to include it. This is
Yes,
our retrospective on season one,
amongst other things. I mean,
amongst
it's
many other things.
and retrospect is an interesting term. I mean, yeah, definitely gonna be looking back. I'm not sure we're gonna be playing clips or not, but maybe I'll figure that out in the sound editing portion. But it's almost sort of like an on-air meeting of where we've been, how we've changed over the episodes, and where we want to go.
Yep.
So I
Yes,
think that's
sir.
really about it. I mean, it's not. I have some questions down. You have some questions down,
I
right?
have some questions. Although it occurs to me some of my questions are pretty much they're very similar to your questions.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we actually hit like on one or two of them in the last episode.
Yeah.
So it also needs to be noted that yes, we are behind schedule in terms of this release.
Mm-hmm.
We had planned on recording last week, and keep in mind that right now it is the 8th of November.
Yep.
However, you know, due to some illness and other factors, we were not able to record on time because we would much rather this episode have come out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So
It's been a while too since we've recorded it at all because
yes,
we did your last essay. Was it back in? Was it September?
I can bring it up for you in a second here.
Whenever we recorded it.
Yeah, so there's the timesheet and there's the schedule. So yeah, that episode, Crisis of Hope, was recorded September 27th,
Yeah. Wow.
and it was assembled on the 15th, and it was released on the 23rd.
Yeah.
So
Well, so we've had some time off. I wouldn't say we've had time off from each other. We went camping. Fantastic
yes,
trip
yes,
in Assateague. If
yeah,
anybody's listening who has not been to Assateague, please put it on your bucket list.
yes,
If you're an avid camper,
yeah.
yeah.
And we might throw some. In fact, there actually is already one photo on the
Yep.
website
Yep.
from it.
The new cover
So
photo, I think. Right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
down on the bottom under the conversation
Yeah.
on the main website. So
Yeah. Fantastic trip. But have you enjoyed, in air quotes, the time between recordings?
there's been
'Cause I,
yeah,
I'm
actually I kind of have actually.
yeah.
I kind of needed a break on a lot of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I agree.
And I know they always say, what you should do in life, you should follow your passion or whatnot.
Hmm.
And to a certain extent, that's true. But I hate to break it to everyone, but your passion's usually a money loser.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So, you need to have a real job. And so between doing the real job and working on the podcast and a whole bunch of other things that were happening in my life and in yours, and
Hmm.
I just needed a break, man. So, their camping was like so crucial
Yeah.
to turning
Absolutely.
me around.
Yeah.
I still feel like $1,000,000. Well, maybe not 1,000,000. I think I feel like about 500,000 now. But
Yeah.
I'm still feeling pretty good
Life
about it.
finds a way.
Life does find a way. But I mean, I've a lot of Starfield.
Yeah.
But I mean, whereas before I was playing Starfield out of like sort of the depression type thing,
Mm.
just in a fuck the world, I'm playing video games type thing. Now I'm like enjoying it a little bit more, and yeah, it's just all around good. Everything's good.
Good.
So
Yeah, I agree. Like I think we kind of enjoyed it, but I also missed it.
yeah,
I liked the regimen, just like knowing what we're going to be doing every other weekend was really nice. But also just like the conversations are, for me, like they're great. Like I love the conversation. I love just being able to talk about my opinion without it necessarily being like picked apart and judged.
right. And I feel that's like really important. And I mean, also during the break, various things happened. Like I was in the front rows of the DC No Kings protest,
Hmm.
which was absolutely awesome. I was there as myself, not representing the Ascendant Project, but just being Brian. There's a dualism that happens with this show. I mean,
Yeah, there has to.
there has to be. I mean, it's, you know, Brian is, the
There
liberal.
you go. You're talking about yourself in the third person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I picked it up from you, my friend.
I know.
I learned it from you. You know, with your company and all that.
Yep. Yep.
But the Ascendant Project, has its own purpose, and hopefully, come the first of the year, I'll make that division legal in some way, shape, or form. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exciting.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, when you're running a company, you got to wear many hats.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like your hat.
I'm wearing the Portland Frog hat.
Now, how come there's no Portland Pillsbury Dough Boy?
Oh, really? This
Yeah.
is how you're going.
This is how I'm going for it. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I feel like for it to be really truly effective, like you'd have to be doing something obscene.
possibly. He's trying to set something up here.
I'm doing a damn good job, if I do say so myself.
I'm always thinking I should sabotage this right now. So, okay, so the backstory on this little tidbit here is that we were doing the sound check, and I was like, it really bothers me that I can hear this better in the microphone than I can hear my own voice. And you were discussing how
it's kind of like tickling yourself.
It's kind of like tickling yourself.
Yeah.
And
which, of course,
for some reason, naturally,
yeah,
I came up with a weird option of all things. What direction to go in? I don't know why I went in this direction, but for some reason, I thought of the Pillsbury Dough Boy masturbating. You want to go ahead, Julius?
Making that yeast rise.
Making the yeast rise.
Oh, man. I've cried so many times on this show.
I know. Tears of laughter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's the older he gets, though, the more he has to take the tips from the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That's it. Season 1 over. We're not topping that.
Yeah. Yep. That's just the icing.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yes.
Man, I need to rotate these feet because I keep hitting
yeah.
Yeah, that's better. All right. Yeah, probably I should. Season 2, maybe I should be sitting on chairs that don't have wheels on them.
Oh, yeah.
Just a hunch. But, all right. So, Mr. Knapp.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Right now or in general about the season?
Yes.
Right now I feel really good. Yeah. Right now I feel really good. Like I said, I've missed doing this. It's been a while. Probably too long since we've done this. I've enjoyed doing every episode.
Yeah.
I know it can start to feel like a chore, but I still love it every time.
Yeah, same here. Like especially at the beginning, it can sort of sometimes feel like a chore.
Right.
Especially if you're up against a deadline and you're like, crap, I got to bang this essay before tomorrow.
Right.
Or in this case, I got to bang out, or in some cases, I got to bang out this essay within the next hour.
Right. Or I got to bang out this essay 4 hours after we were supposed to record.
Or yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
And but if you're asking me about like the season in general, like I'm really like just proud, honestly, of the season, of the body of work, of everything we've done, how far we've come, how far you've come, and from it was February, right?
Yeah, I mean
Like the
it's
first week of February.
okay. So the first episode aired, Rising Through Turmoil, February 17th
Yeah,
of 2025. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I mean, and this is the 25th episode, if you will.
yeah.
I know some of them, they, like, for instance, on Spotify, I don't see anything more than the last 10 episodes. I don't know
Mm,
why.
mm, yeah,
I things I need to work on in the off season.
yeah.
I'd like to get the whole library on there, but maybe that involves money. Maybe it's free for 10 episodes. I don't
It
know.
could be. Yeah,
Or maybe it's a product of the RSS feed. I have no idea.
yeah. I don't know.
But
How do you feel though about? Well, how do you feel right now? How do you feel about the season?
I feel really good right now.
Good.
I mean, I didn't get too much sleep last night, but other than that, so I'm happy for the fog, so that way you wouldn't have beat me in tennis for being exhausted.
Right.
But nonetheless, yeah, I feel better than I have in a while. And and as far as about the podcast goes, I feel like I'm actually at a huge crossroads.
Hmm. Hmm.
Season 1, I feel like in many ways was a huge practice run if we're going to get really serious about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And that kind of scares me a little bit, which is good because that means I need to be courageous in my actions.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because you cannot predict the future. The world is freaking nuts. The world is still nuts.
Right.
I mean, I know that with the recent elections and the No Kings protest, it kind of feels like, the Starks have won a few battles against the Lannisters from this liberal's point of view. But, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work to do nationally on that front.
Yeah.
This is, Brian speaking here, not the project. But, in terms of like fighting authoritarianism, what we view as
Hmm.
authoritarianism. So, but there's a mountain of work to do. But at the same point in time, it's nice to see, there's a good chunk of the country with us
Yeah.
that have this point of view.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a movement of morality that's beginning to arise in this nation.
Hmm.
In terms of, and I'm not talking about morality in terms of gay sex is bad or murder is evil or whatever. I'm just talking about, attitudes to your fellow man, towards
Hmm.
the least of these. The least of these I feel is becoming more important again politically, whereas the least of these has been stomped on by MAGA for so long. Once again, according to Brian, liberal point of view.
Right.
But so I like to see that there is a little bit more compassion happening as a movement. Compassion as a movement is an incredible thing. So more people get behind it, the better.
Yeah. Well, and I think the the No Kings protest was a fantastic example of the conversation continuing and drawing more people into the conversation. About
Yeah.
I think everyone knows we don't have a king in this country,
Oh yeah.
but I think what the No Kings protest is truly about is having the conversation about what do we really want from our government. What is our expectation at a federal level, that what are the things that we the people should expect of our leaders.
You know what Hawaii did, right?
No. Who? What?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Okay. No. What?
So instead of no kings, they had no dictators.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
because do they still have a king?
well,
Technically.
they don't have a king technically because the U.S. overthrew them.
Well, I don't know
but
if it was like
but it's part of their heritage. So they went with
no
no
dictators.
dictators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. But I mean, again, still just having the conversation. Like, what do we expect from our leadership? And what I hope will come from all of this is I would very much like to see, and I think I've said it in many of my essays, I would like to see some kind of constitutional amendment
Yes.
proposed and moving through the state houses.
And that actually brings me something that I wrote down as a question that I did
Yeah.
not write down as a question that I
Uh-huh.
wanted to.
Uh-huh.
You and I had started this project on the side
Yeah.
of a zillion constitutional amendments.
Well, yeah.
you
I
know,
mean,
and all the constitutional amendments that you and I thought really needed to be done.
right, right.
The things that need to be changed at a constitutional level, because as you discussed in one of your essays, and an interview thereafter, the process for amending our constitution has completely stopped, and we need to be able to update it to
Right,
today.
right.
And as a result, I feel that we're becoming a large part of what's happening is that we're kind of under the stranglehold of the past as opposed to being able to adapt for the future.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I know, constitutional historians would say the founders were really kind of fearful of what the people might do if it was easy to amend the Constitution.
mm-hmm.
They admitted there had to be a way, and they gave us two, but neither of those really involved, being able to propose like a referendum
Yeah.
or anything like that. In the absence of any other problems, like I would probably propose an amendment to be able to amend the Constitution some other way, by say have being able to hold a national referendum and having that kind of thing.
All right. So, with a national referendum, what would be the threshold?
Um,
60%, 67%, 50%?
I don't know. Let's have the debate. To be honest, I haven't really thought about it, but I know I whatever threshold we can all agree on, I think 60% is probably good, but I mean 50% may be a little too low.
Yeah, I think 50% would be too low.
Yeah,
'Cause
probably.
here's the thing. I mean, the way it was structured, like with the House of Representatives, is every 2 years.
Right.
So that's basically the House of Commons.
Essentially.
The Senate is every 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So winning 5 elections in the Senate is 30 years. So it's meant to be more of an aristocracy. So that's our House of Lords.
Yeah.
To moderate what legislation actually gets through.
Yeah.
So the Senate's there really to slow things down from the reactionary wing of government. The president is like right in between the two, which kind of makes sense because you don't want the president to be somebody who is all about the past and never being able to change, but you also don't want the president to necessarily be a force that's always with the House of Representatives, being able to swing policy with every poll.
Right.
And then they try to moderate it even further with the Supreme Court being life term, and the federal courts being life terms. I feel like that was great for 1776. Well, actually,
I think it
so
made sense
1787.
then,
Yeah,
especially when we're only 13.
so much slower.
Yeah, I mean, especially when we were only 13 states. But when you're 50, like we're more than three. What is it? More than 4 times, or almost 4 times that size.
Yeah,
It just doesn't. I feel like there's got to be some kind of at least review of like, is that even really still?
I mean, this form of government was
relevant?
written when, before and during times when, say, War of 1812, the war had ended, but the Battle of New Orleans occurred after the war had technically ended.
Right. Right.
Because communication was that slow.
Yes. Right.
We live in the news cycle. The press time has died. Everything's now instantaneous in terms of what
Right.
gets covered.
Got to get it out. Got to talk about it.
And so I kind of feel like government having those lifetime terms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you bring back a judge to just 20 years. That's something.
Yeah.
Although I'd probably be more happy with 15, but nonetheless.
Yeah, the bottom line for me is I feel like we need to just keep talking about it. Like
Yeah.
it's if we're not talking about it, we're not doing our jobs as citizens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean honestly there are any number of amendments that I think the vast majority of people could support. The real question then being, could it actually work its way through the halls of power,
Yeah.
across the country and in DC. But
Also, one thing I would like, when a Supreme Court justice retires or dies or whatever, like if it's especially if it's the Chief Justice,
mm-hmm.
Rehnquist retired, so Bush W appointed
W.
Roberts
Yeah, right.
to be Chief Justice.
Right.
I believe there should be seniority on the court.
Yeah.
So when
right.
Rehnquist retired, then the next eldest appointment probably should become Chief Justice, and Bush W should have appointed the ninth justice.
They're definitely, if there is anything that the Trump administration has done a great job at, like
although I say that with an asterisk, by the way, because we'd be dealing with Chief Justice Thomas.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. This guy. No, I think if there's anything that the Trump administration has done phenomenally well at, it is at exposing the cracks and the flaws in our institutions.
Yeah.
I think
that's called turning the negative into a positive.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think it's become very clear that the Supreme Court is in need of some reform.
Yes.
For multiple reasons, not strictly because you might agree or disagree with the rulings, but just
ethics.
Ethics plays the appearance that the court is the law, is the last word on the law of the land. I think if people start to lose faith in that institution, that's really like for people like you and me, that's the bedrock of in many respects. I feel like there are a lot of people who the only reason they don't kill people who have wronged them is because they know they have some kind of recourse through the courts. And if they lose faith in that, then there really is potential for chaos.
Oh yeah, totally.
But also just that the executive is responsible for funding and paying the courts and judges, and the executive can potentially just cut off that funding. Effectively just close courts. Like that. Is this really what was intended?
Yeah.
It does not make sense to me. I know Congress is supposed to have the power of the purse, and they can tell the executive to fund, but like, what if the executive just says no? Like that's a real thing that's happened.
Yeah,
and
100%,
and definitely some kind of loophole we need to.
And it's not the first time it's happened. I mean, it's Andrew Jackson. Native Americans won in court, and Jackson's like, yeah, we'll let them enforce it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm the executive branch.
Right.
Screw the Supreme Court.
So I mean, there has to be some kind of reform.
Yeah.
There has to,
like maybe your proposal of moving the U.S. Marshals to the judiciary
branch. Yeah. I think that would help.
Yeah.
But I mean, just reform in general. Like I said, I'm not gonna be so naive or arrogant to think that I have the best ideas.
Yeah.
But please, let's us as a country keep talking about this. Like, what is our expectation?
Exactly. So
where's that soapbox?
I don't know. So like, you're pretty white. Would you be standing on ivory?
Ivory box?
Yeah, an ivory soapbox.
I don't know. I usually like
I'm pretty white too, so Irish Spring. Yeah. Although lately I've been using Dr. Squatch.
Dr. Squatch.
Yes, the bourbon. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to some softer topics.
Yeah.
What was your favorite moment?
Oh, jeez. You know, I mean, my favorite moments, I think, basically deal with the laughter.
Yeah.
And the thing is like most of the time, I don't even remember the jokes like 5 minutes later,
Right.
or after the episode airs. Like, you know, the Pillsbury Dough Boy is like freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
God damn. But I mean, it's yeah, the moments of laughter and that happen amongst serious topics, and that's I feel that that helps make everything digestible. Yeah, I mean, I've had like favorite essays.
Yeah.
You know,
What was your
it's
favorite?
there are a couple of mine, the essays that I've written. Probably what is truth,
Okay.
and
That was a good one.
also yeah, I guess my top three would be what is truth of monsters, heroes, and men,
Huh.
and then crisis of hope.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, those are like my opuses. Opie,
Op-
opie,
Opusai?
opusi.
I don't know. Dove's tails?
Dove's tails. Woo.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, those
Yeah,
were very good.
yeah,
I still remember what is truth? I remember at the time cuz we read all these before we talk about them. I remember reading it and I was like I still don't quite get it. But then the that was one for me where the interview afterwards really made the difference and helped me understand
yeah,
what you were going for there.
yeah. It's you know, does truth even matter anymore in
Right.
today's politics? You know,
Right.
it's I'm sure you know people on the right would use the same charge, you know, for you know the sources I
Absolutely.
read,
Yeah.
but there that's just the problem.
Yeah.
People are operating under two sets of facts, and sometimes what's reported as fact isn't, and that we need some discernment.
Hmm.
But in reactionary media, it's very hard to get that discernment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have an essay I'd like to write for season 2 more on that topic. So,
yeah,
something to stay tuned for. I think my I don't let's see. I don't know if I could really pick 3. But definitely I really liked my essay in response to the comments we got to the first No Kings protest.
yes,
Um, our American tradition. I really liked that one. I really enjoyed
that was a very
writing
good one.
that one. It's and I don't often revisit old memories, so it was just nice being able to kind of think back on that time too.
And that's what I really like is
Yeah.
being able to bring up memories to and moments of influence from childhood or whatnot that gives you that moral stand on your political positions today,
Hmm.
because that is like something that just does not get talked about. But you need to understand why a lot of the reasons why we believe and vote and everything the way we do is how we were raised and what we were exposed to when we were young.
Right.
So I think my mom brought that up in her essay and her in her interview about, let's see here. I mean her yeah, my background and why I'm a never Trumper.
Yes. 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 Yes.
You know, she talked about going door to door and checking on people who weren't mobile enough
Right.
to even
Right.
go to church.
Right.
She was raised with that compassion in her faith. And then she sees the total lack of compassion coming from ICE and other things. And she's like, how can I vote for this guy?
Right.
Even though I'm a conservative Christian, how can I vote for this administration?
Right.
So,
I actually, another one I really liked. I really liked the my last essay, which I'm forgetting what the title of it at the moment was. But the one where your mother interviewed me. I know that the interview was kind of shorter than most of them, but
That was just because of my phone.
I know, yeah. But
But we
I
stretched it out. That's
we
that's when
did,
I joined. That's when I joined in to
yes.
keep it going.
No, yeah. But I enjoyed having that conversation with her. You know,
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
yeah. That was
that
a
actually.
reaffiliated.
Reaffiliated. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Well, and then I guess on that subject, I actually also really liked unaffiliated.
Yeah,
So I guess if I was going to pick a top three, it would probably be either those three. I don't know. Well, definitely I would put our American tradition at the top for me,
yeah.
and then reaffiliated or unaffiliated, and then if I could somehow squeeze another one into my top three, it would be it would be Birth of Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
What's your cringiest moment?
Yeah, I wrote down
I
that
know
question.
exactly which one it was for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was actually so I don't know if I would say it was cringe, but definitely the hardest one to get through was the racism
The
episode.
racism episode.
Yeah.
I thought we actually did pretty well navigating through that,
I think we did. Um
but we'll
but
find out in 5 years if that still
right,
stands.
exactly. When we're both canceled, we lose our jobs. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I thought we did an okay job. I think it's also, we definitely both had slightly different perspectives on it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's important. I think that's another thing too, where it's like, uh, and maybe I brought it up in that episode. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But there was a post on Reddit some years ago of this black woman who had gone to Europe just to travel for vacation, and she noted when she got back about her experience and how, in the states there is definitely still some racism that exists, and she experiences this, somewhat regularly. But in Europe, she felt it all the time, like
Mm,
people just making off the cuff remarks, without really thinking about how what they're saying might be perceived
right.
or felt. And she talked about how in the United States, we're forced to have that conversation. And I say forced. Forced is maybe not exactly the right word, but maybe compelled to
Yeah.
have the conversation about race and diversity and equity. What that means for us, because we're ultimately a nation of immigrants, of former slaves, of oppressed Native Americans. So it's like we have to have the conversation, because you couldn't get by on a day-to-day basis in this country without experiencing it
Yeah.
some way. So I liked the episode in that where we talked about it,
Hmm.
and I think it's important that people talk about it, even if it makes them feel bad or makes them look bad.
Yeah. So with you saying that, I just added to the ideas list for next season for
Yeah.
episodes: racism and immigration.
Mm. Yeah.
And as an example, since you're going that way, the rise of racism in Europe with the Arab Spring.
Mm. Ooh.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, you had all these refugees coming up in Europe.
Right. And I mean,
Especially from Syria.
yeah, that
And
conversation is still being had.
yeah, totally, 100%. Isn't happening here, but it might give me further insight into the MAGA lens of how they view immigration here.
Hmm.
So who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be my cringiest episode,
Yeah,
was just trying to have that conversation. Being sensitive to your feelings, also being sensitive to so many other people who might be listening.
I mean, it was an episode that I felt needed to happen because
Yeah.
we were talking around race in our interviews, and some of our articles up to that point, and so I felt like we needed to have a discussion about that, even though this is where the phrase was born. We're just two white boys bitching.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, so white boys bitching about race. I mean, really, I mean, how morally superior are we?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Sure.
So, um, but I felt like that it needed to be written about and it needed to be talked about. So that's why I took the burden, because I felt like something like that needed to come from the top. So I felt like, this is my project, so I should probably take it on.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So hopefully I nailed it. I don't know. I don't know if I stuck that landing or not, but
Well,
we'll
again,
find
we'll
out.
probably find out in 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Should one of us ever run for office, I'm sure it'll pop up.
Right. Right.
So yeah. Let's see here. So yeah, I think that was a joint cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah. How has this podcast helped you grow?
Well, I think you could see that in my last essay, in reaffiliated. Being able to like really look at what I was trying to accomplish by being unaffiliated, and what I was, the kind of like one man protest of the two party system, and just being like, okay, well, I'm just not going to participate in it. But ultimately, like, not participating meant that I had a weaker voice, or a lesser voice, and
And
I
that's
needed to try and
that's what I like about this, because you had everybody's like Republican this, Democrat that, MAGA this, communist, socialist that,
right, yeah,
squad that, and everything is so much tribalism. You broke through that, and you're like, what party could I have the most influence in?
right, right,
And so you went for the party that has the less amount of people,
right, because then I have
so that way you have
the
more
greater
influence.
yes,
And as opposed to joining the party for the platform or the people in it, you're like, I can affect the people in it.
right. That's the hope,
That's the hope.
right?
And yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So are you going to go to the secret Republican meetings
With my
with the secret silent parties?
right, with my my
Battlestar Galactica reference, in case you don't know.
yeah, my deep state ID.
With your deep state ID.
Right.
I
You
need
really
some
gotta.
registration.
I think if there was one thing that if you were gonna try and like fund the podcast,
Be with deep state
I
IDs.
think you need to make some deep state IDs.
Well, you got the laminator, so
Yeah. Yep. No, but yeah, I think in terms of growth, I think also just being able to speak out and have a voice in general. This is not like doing this is not. I mean, I assume this isn't really something that comes naturally to you either. But this is like the first.
more every day.
Like, yeah, sure. But like a year ago, this is definitely not what I thought I would be doing on even a semi-weekly basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you though? Growth?
Growth, for me, it got me talking about my faith upbringing, and it helped me allow me to stand on it in ways that I hadn't before.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm more religious, because I still have serious qualms about, going to church for worship, just because of the conformity that is called for there. And, God created me to be an individual.
Right.
But it allowed me to come to peace with my upbringing. I'll become more at peace with my own faith, because there's a lot of problems, because I both believe and I don't believe at the same time.
Yeah.
It isn't that I have doubts. It's that there are two competing systems within me that are alive and thriving. that's me. So if I'm talking both sides of my mouth about faith, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. The name Israel means to struggle. What was the U2 lyric that referenced the scripture? Jacob wrestled the angel and the angel was overcome. It's, you need to be able to think critically,
Yeah.
and not necessarily go along with people because people say your problem's not with me, it's with the Bible. I cry bullshit to that,
Mm.
because so much spiritual abuse has happened with those words,
Yeah.
and so much corruption has happened because of those words.
Yeah, I agree.
And no, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I especially won't go. If I do go to church, I probably won't go to a non-denominational church because there's no oversight.
Hmm.
I mean, how many of those non-denominational churches are the land and the church is physically owned by the pastor?
Hmm.
And when the pastor retires, who's it going to go to? Oh, we're going to pray about it and find
And
the
then give
leader,
it to,
and it winds up being his son
right,
or his son-in-law
right.
every single freaking time. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Yeah, I don't want that sort of corruption involved in my spiritual life.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, and truth be told, I feel the church in general has a reckoning, and it's going through a reckoning from the SBC to the Assemblies of God to the Catholic Church. They're all have been dealing with sexual scandals.
Yeah.
Um, and that's done because of lack of accountability. So, and lack of transparency.
Yeah.
It's, I think Max Weber, he was a sociologist, and I believe he wrote something about priests and prophets, where the prophets start the religion, but the priests eventually take it over and drive them out.
Right. Right.
And so it winds up becoming more law than anything else. And I feel like that's happened a lot in American Protestantism, especially, and also Christianity in general. So, yep,
Yeah.
yep. That's a long rambling answer that kind
No,
of went away from how have I grown. But I think when it comes down to it, it allows me to get back in touch with the
yeah.
concepts with how I was raised.
Yeah,
I
and
can stand on that.
I think I've really kind of, I've witnessed that myself over the past almost a year now, as it's come up time and time again in your
Yeah.
essays or your interviews, and it's certainly something that you've talked about.
And I always preface it
before
with
that,
like,
but
Jesus, I don't want to talk about scripture in this podcast, and I always do.
yeah, but
It's like
and
almost once an episode.
but I mean, it's a it it is still very much a prominent thing in a lot of people's lives, not strictly yours. So I think it's important to. I don't think it's out of place.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think if I, I have I know like later on I want to kind of get to predictions, but if I'm gonna make an early prediction, I'm gonna say it's gonna continue to come up almost once an episode.
Well, to a certain extent, I feel like it's, if I may be all self-righteous and crap, I feel like my position is actually a lot like the founding fathers,
Mhm.
in that they founded the country on Judeo-Christian values, but they didn't trust religion whatsoever.
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at. So I mean, I know there's going to be a fundy out there who's like, well, you're lukewarm, therefore I spit you out or whatever. But so be it.
Right.
When I stand before God, I need to be judged for who I am, not who you want me to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Very well put.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I feel like then we've kind of covered this. Has the podcast changed your perspective? I don't know if well, maybe you don't think that's a change of perspective, more that you've grown in that or refined it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think, like, as far as my spirituality goes, I think I mean, I think that's under grow. I think that perspective was kind of always there. It just hadn't found language, found words. I mean, it's I listen to a little bit culty every now and then, and that's something that Nippy on there talks about. You know, because they were in, because he and his wife were in the Nexium cult, and he talks about how for years afterwards, you know, he'd been trying to find language, put language to how he feels.
Right.
You know, um, and I feel that this podcast has allowed me to find language to how I feel about spirituality.
Yeah.
It's to a certain extent, this is a lot like journal writing,
Yeah.
and you know, this podcast has documented both of our journeys through life and through our perspective changes, the
Right.
nuance, us beginning to understand exactly in depth how we actually feel,
Right.
as opposed to being reactionary.
Right.
One of the things I brought up when my dad died was that bittersweet is the truest emotion because it's complex.
Yeah.
Everything, all our other emotions that we talk about are simple. You know, I love this deer park water, or I hate onions, or you know, it's all very simple and very tiny in terms of its meaning. But we are complex beings with who feel more than one emotion at once, and it's like bittersweet is the only emotion that kind of addresses that. But you know, I feel like there needs to be more words for our feelings whenever we feel other things.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I found more language than I have.
Yeah. And I think
yeah.
I think that's important. Being able to put
Yeah.
words to a thought, to a feeling. I think that's
Yeah. And in a similar vein, I mean, as far as you know, how has the podcast changed my perspective? I think it's allowed a little bit more dualism in my politics. I can, and it's like I discussed earlier. You know, with no kings in DC, that iteration, I was able to go there and fully participate as Brian. But here, I can be more curious, you know?
Yeah.
So my personal life, I can express. Here, I can ask more questions.
Yeah.
And, and so I feel like that opens me up to different things.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, I think if I could, if I could like summarize, because, I think you and I both still struggle to kind of explain what the podcast is to people, right?
Yeah, we're still finding language.
Yeah. Well, and in a sense, really, like that's the best description of it. It's really about the questions and the questioning
And the getting to know
and
you.
right, yeah.
You know, and it needs to be said that this isn't something that can be done lightly. This isn't something that doesn't have risk.
Oh, right.
I mean,
Definitely.
if we wind up if I make a lapse in judgment and allow a hateful essay written by somebody who's very hateful, and then I dig into their perspective and understanding why, because that's what the podcast is about. We want to understand all these crazy perspectives that you know drive everybody nuts, that just mostly because we don't understand. Well, at that point, then the Ascendant Project runs the risk of being associated with that perspective.
Sure.
And that can have huge negative repercussions for people like you and I. So, you know, I feel like it's necessary research. Would it ever make it to air? At that point, then I have another problem, you know, with self censorship and censoring, you know, that person's perspective.
Yeah. Well, I've talked a little bit about like changes we think we would make for season 2. I mean, I hope we can get a few more contributors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but with that, I
but
think
also it needs to be said, you, my mom, and Nick are all Republicans, and I'm the only Democrat here.
so I'm gonna push back on you a little bit though, because you brought that up before, and I like I said in reaffiliated, like You're more
Yeah,
than you're more
you're
than your
more than
party.
your party, 100%.
So uh
But I do take it as a indication that I am following my vision.
yeah, okay. Okay.
You know, I am trying to
If you want to pat
broaden my.
yourself on the back for
Yeah, I'll
that,
pat
yeah,
myself on the
okay.
back. I'll be a little self-righteous in that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we definitely need more contributors. But I think revisiting the point a little bit, I think as we start to have more contributors, I think we'll also have somebody like help to mentor people as they write their essays.
Hmm.
Because this was well,
Well, I mean,
I say that only because
that could be how we grow.
it could
We
be.
all we started off struggling with 750 words, and by the time
Yeah, now we're
the
like
season, we're like at
easily
20,
pushing
20.
2,000.
Yeah,
Or
we're
yeah,
constantly pushing the 2,000 word barrier.
yeah,
Sometimes
2,500.
2,100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would help. But the one thing that stuck out to me, and I don't know if anybody really picked up on the change in my in how I write and the topics that I visit. But there was something I can't. I think it was after. I think it might have been after Birth of Bill, where we were discussing it afterwards, and
I'm in executive order.
uh, well, you were. I think you had said to me like you didn't feel like there was much heart or something.
Yeah, you hadn't exposed yourself.
Right. Yes. And
Yeah.
so we talked about it just a little bit, and that's really when I dug deep and decided to try and talk a little bit more about like revisit some of those old memories.
Yeah.
I think it was either the
Yeah.
very
I'm
next
glad I got
essay.
Spock to get in touch with his human side.
Logic is the beginning of wisdom.
Yes,
Not
it
the
is.
end.
You mentioned that in an essay, I think, didn't
I
you?
think I did.
Yeah.
Or in an interview.
Yeah, one of the two.
But yeah, I think helping people try to like get in touch with the people they are and how those how your past experiences can influence your current perspective. Um, uh, I think that's definitely something we as we bring on more contributors that we should try to impart and coach a little bit.
How many contributors do you think we should have?
I it's I'll say it's not really my show, but
But you're
so
firmly entrenched.
I'm pretty firmly entrenched. The so I would defer to you and what you want. I mean, personally, I think it could be as many as we want. Really, I mean, if we're gonna do
Okay.
25,
How many regular contributors?
ooh, well, um, I think like four to
Okay.
six maybe
So
regular contributors is probably
okay, so if we do 6 regular contributors writing 3 essays each, that's 18 episodes right there.
right.
Um,
And then we have the Wednesday inserts and the occasional special guest.
yeah, I feel like 6, yeah, 4 or 5 I think I'd go with most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, but even at 4, that's
I mean,
enough to
I know
have.
as the owner and editor, I could write as many as I want
Right.
and piss everyone off. But
Right.
I, yeah, I yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely want a core group of contributors with guest spots.
Mhm.
I think that would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
How I mean, did you like our mix of reactionary episodes
I did.
with timeless episodes?
I thought there was a decent mix of topical and timeless.
Yeah.
Um yeah. Well, for me, I don't know if I would say the more topical essays or more topical episodes should be um part of the normal, like I would almost make it like its own segment. Like almost literally make it a Wednesday insert. So
Yeah.
you'd have like the regular
So the regular articles
essays,
and
and then as
even
things
the
come
guest
up in the
stars would
world,
come in every
yeah,
2 weeks,
right,
and then we'd have the rush job on the reactionary
yeah,
stuff.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what
Um,
I mean. That's probably what I would do. And it seems like a lot of people like did you want to go over some of the stats?
Oh yeah,
I mean, it
yeah,
seems
yeah.
like a lot of people
We're yeah.
enjoyed those more topical.
But before we get there,
Yeah, go ahead.
what have you learned?
What have I learned? Well, okay, just from a more practical or pragmatic perspective, I feel like I've learned a little bit more about just how podcasts are produced.
You've
I've
learned that the Pillsbury Dough Boy needs to take after the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man when he gets
right,
older.
right, as he
Yeah.
gets older. um, uh, I've also just like learned how to interview. Like
Yeah.
this was certainly the first time I've done this many interviews of anyone on any topic.
Has that helped you as far as like outside of the project
Yeah, a little bit actually. Just being
with
able
your
to
hires?
ask questions that aren't necessarily incendiary or inflammatory. Like they're trying to draw out people's opinions without
Mhm.
seeming judgmental.
Right.
Um, uh, yeah, I think that yeah. What about you? What have you
Um,
learned?
Influence costs money.
Yeah,
Influence really does
yeah,
cost money. In order to
sadly.
have an impact on society, you definitely need to have some coin.
Mm,
And that I feel like we have the content. I feel like our packaging isn't quite there. Um, and we have like zero marketing.
right.
And, marketing especially costs money.
Yep.
And so if we're going to have an impact on society, it's going to have to be a little bit more than word of mouth. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know if we need to like put signs on light poles like Be Kind does, but you know, we need some sort of marketing strategy. Also, it would be really cool to have. I mean, I feel like I'm doing pretty good sound editing, but it would be really awesome if I could like afford somebody who actually knows what the heck they're doing.
Sure.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
but once again, more money.
Yep.
So I mean, it's. I feel like I have a very good thing here, but I need the capital to really make it go.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I've learned.
Well,
And I
and
kind of knew that to begin with,
sure,
but it's
but now
another
you
thing to
felt
actually
it. Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I as a business owner myself, that I think that was also like a hard realization that you know what you need, you know what the ingredients are, but when it calls for when the recipe calls for cinnamon and all you have is nutmeg,
Yeah.
you make do with what you have sometimes.
Um, it should also be noted that a lot of these questions, and there's actually a lot more of them too. I think there's around 25 right now. I'm going to be sending out as a survey to subscribers. So
Yeah, I
because
think
I would
that's a really good
love
idea.
to get your all's idea, because in the end, I mean, yeah, there's a good chunk of me that's doing this for my own ego, but
You have to be a
it
little
would
bit egotistical to
to do
do
this.
this kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're you are so much more important than me in how this
How
podcast
this grows.
grows.
Yeah. Yeah. Here,
And
here.
yeah, so I we need your feedback. I think we're up to 11 subscribers now.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's fantastic.
How's your mom doing?
Uh, why don't you ask her yourself? she's she's a subscriber, I think.
Number
Yeah,
11.
I got on her case a little bit. I don't know if you've well, your
I
mom has
reached out to
actually
her
contributed.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, she didn't tell me that you did, but I think you told me that. Or
Well, I
you had
mean,
asked
that's
who.
something I'm trying to do. Is like
Right.
I when people sign up. I mean, I think I started doing that around
Yeah, and who
subscribers
was it that I
6 or 7.
totally foobarred? Um, you had like sent a
Oh,
thing, and
oh,
then
I remember this.
I
Hang
sent a
on.
reply
You
back.
sent a
I
reply.
said, "Who is
Oh,
this?"
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we owe that person an apology, or you do
Yeah.
anyway.
Yes, I do.
Um, let's see here. Oh, oh, oh. Hang on a second. Thank you for subscribing. I think it was this one. Yes. Arcosabo at
R.
Gmail.
Kosovo.
Yes.
R. Kosovo. I apologize. I hit reply all.
He's
I
smart,
was
I swear.
I was getting like, you know, I get so much spam, and I'm like always very suspicious when I see an email that I don't recognize, and so I was trying to reach out to Brian and say,
Yeah, you're
"Who's
pissing off
this?"
10% of our subscribers, Julius.
Oh God. That was if we're gonna that was absolutely a cringe moment for me.
That was like definitely cringe.
But yeah. And
That's
yeah.
all right. That's all right. Well, you know, I have a better signature file than you, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, I can't argue with that. I think we kind of talked a little bit about what we want to see for next season. Or did you want to jump into the stats real quick?
Let's jump into the stats before
All
we
right.
go into next season and the other questions. So, 25 published posts. Spotify.
25. This is 25 or 26?
Ooh, 20. There's a Phantom episode
Yes. From when you
from the
did
first
this.
No Kings protest, I think,
Yeah.
because that was not on Spotify. That was web
Right.
only.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So I think that's a Phantom one. So
So this one
so maybe this won't be 25. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think this is 25 actually.
Yeah, that's
So,
what I thought.
Yeah. And when I came up with these stats last week, so it should be updated. We got 3,247 views, 2,308 visitors. The top 5 page stats were the homepage with 775 views, which is great, as great in terms of percentage, I should say. The No Kings protest on 6/14, which obviously that was not on Spotify or anything else, but that was like just the web page.
Right.
That got 180 views. My essay ambushed how to survive a surprise political conversation got 171 views. Then the Declaration of Independence, our discussion on that on July 4th, that got 152. And then the discussion for hands-off protests got 133. That might have been the Phantom one, actually.
Yeah, I think that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So your best.
I had the second best.
You had the second best
All right.
essay
I could
with
be okay
the Bertha Bill with 125 views.
Nice.
And that actually came up as number 6 webpage stats.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I found it really interesting that, so the number 1 slot was the homepage, which is good. Then it was reactionary. How to survive those reactionary No Kings protests from June. Then it was an essay. Then it was a discussion. No essay on that one either. Then it was another discussion. And then it was your essay. So I think people like the reactionary stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And they like the discussions.
Well, and I think it'll be revealing to see, when you do send the surveys out, whether those subscribers were brought in from those reactionary posts or episodes, or if they, if they were doing some other kind of search and had just come across us some other way.
Yeah.
Because like you and I have both said, it's like come for the reaction, stay for the essays. Kind of that's what I think will prove out.
Yep. So I guess over the last year, I shelled out like $750 in marketing for through Blaze, through WordPress, and cross posted with Tumblr, and money well spent. Absolute money well spent. 830,208 Tumblr views.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a lot of views.
Yeah.
And ads appeared on 1.25 million screens, with a little over 1 million people reached through the ads. So and nobody clicks on pop-up ads. We all know this. That's why only 2,726
Right.
clicks came to the website through the ads. But that once again, that begs the question. Are my ads effective? I don't know what the click rate, what a good click rate is for an ad. I might just
I think this probably falls in line.
in line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. But what I am curious, I'm trying to. So you had 2,700 people click on an ad, but you had over 830,000 Tumblr views.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
it shows up in their feeds.
Okay. Oh, okay. So they're not. It's not an ad. It just shows up.
Just shows
Okay.
up. Yeah, yeah.
So is this just them viewing the thing in the feed?
I
No,
think
I guess.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But of those, I mean, we got 2,273 Tumblr likes with 109 comments. So I feel that we have made an impact.
Yeah.
Not exactly where we were expecting to make an impact.
Right.
I mean, I know I used this analogy in an earlier show, but it's like we're a gymnast on a balance beam, and we
Yep.
landed on our nuts,
Right.
and one leg is in the blog, and the other leg is in the podcast.
Yep.
And the blog side is doing great. So, yeah.
Well, on that note, then, as we transition to what we want to see, are we gonna try and do video?
It's definitely something to consider.
I mean, I think
I mean, even if we don't do video, I think we need to move on to YouTube. Even if it's
Yes.
like just a picture of us there, a
Right.
still picture of
I
us
agree.
and us being there.
Yeah.
That is a huge market that we haven't gotten in on.
Yep.
I don't want to necessarily call it missed opportunity because we're still growing and we're still learning. So it's you can't say missed opportunity about things you don't necessarily know about or understand. So we're learning and growing in this. But
Right.
yeah, I could see us potentially doing some sort of video podcast.
Yeah. I think we could certainly try one or two, maybe the season opener.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd love to have some guest stars. I'd love to have some people from Braver Angels on.
Yeah.
I'd love to have my my friend Kirsten on if she's interested. I don't know if she would be or not. She has her own podcast, so maybe we could cross promote.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I think there's opportunity and a path forward. So long as we have the discipline and are willing to invest the resources to go forward with it.
Right.
So
Right.
definitely optimistic there. Do you like this format?
I like this format. I like this a lot. Now, by format, I'm going to assume you mean writing the essays and then doing the interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that, actually. I like being able to get my thoughts out without, being interrupted and
Yeah.
and then have the discussion
Cross-examined.
afterwards. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what happens when that happens is, the conversation can go into a different direction before you've made your point.
Yes. Right.
And that's not, you need to be able to say what you say. And a lot of times what you have to say deals with nuance.
Yeah.
And so you got to be able to address those nuances while
Exactly.
making your point. And
Exactly.
you can't do that in a conversation that well.
It's difficult. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I was going to talk about like expanding the format, I think doing video would be a great idea. We'll have to see if somebody can do our makeup before every episode, or we just go on Raw, and people see what they see.
You're looking like Pillsbury Dough Boy, and Brian, you're looking like Stay Puft.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, people can see the heterochromia.
They get to see my two color eyes.
Right. Yep.
if the cameras are good enough for that, but yeah.
Yeah. And but I also do think that doing like a compendium of essays that we publish every
Oh yeah,
at the end of every season, I think
yeah,
would be great.
that's an interesting idea. We could
Yeah.
potentially sell that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's done through Shutterfly or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
Do they have like a print on demand kind of thing where they can?
Yeah.
We should
You
do
can
that.
make photo books and stuff like that.
Yeah, we should
And so,
look at doing that.
yeah, that's actually one thing though. I do think we do need to do on our website more.
What's that?
We need to get more images.
Yeah, yeah, I
You
agree.
know, something to brighten up. I mean, we also need a webpage redesign.
Yeah,
As much as I like the content on the webpage, it's
the content
looking
is
very
great. Yeah,
like I took away the sunrise on it and I to replace it with our logo and it's just like
it's a bit
it's
basic.
so white and so
Yeah,
benign and so unexciting.
yeah.
Um, you know, there it definitely needs more color.
Well, we can talk. We can talk
Yeah,
about how we fix that.
yeah. Do you feel it's important that we continue?
Um, I do.
Okay.
I think this one is difficult to think about, and because I think it's going to be important for at least the next 3 years.
Okay.
I want to say it's going to continue to be important even after that.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's obviously like a certain sentiment in the public eye right now, and I don't know if that's still going to be there.
Yeah.
But I still think it's important for people to be able to tell their stories.
Well, I mean, it's
I just don't know if the same like gravitas is going to be present.
I mean, if you want a short answer to what the podcast is about, it's to be a voice for the voiceless.
Mhm.
And so long as people feel disenfranchised, you know, I want people to feel heard when they come on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's yeah. I don't know. I mean, there are some holy grail friends that we have that would really test our ability to bite our tongues and stuff like that. But to a certain extent, they're kind of the people that we need to get on here at some point.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
because the the vitriol and anger that we feel in their arguments comes from being disenfranchised and
Right.
not being heard.
Right.
So in the end, I mean, the forum's for them too.
Yeah.
Even though it's gonna be hard for us because you know we're personally involved,
Right. Yeah.
and that's the hard part.
Right.
You know, maybe I could have my mom interview them or whatever, but
Well, right, and I think that's that is why having additional regular contributors would be so key because
yeah, then it
right,
opens up the world.
right,
It removes the personal
right,
um from the interview.
yeah,
Um because the interview is supposed to bring out the personal of the essay writer,
right,
not the personal in the interviewer.
right,
So, yeah.
yep.
Yep. Cool. Anything specific to change other than what we've already discussed?
No, no. I mean, I think we've pretty much already discussed. I will say, I mean, I would like to lose 20 pounds. If I could do that, that would be fantastic. If I could
If
make
I could
one
lose
change,
50, I'd be incredibly
well,
happy.
yeah. I mean, I'm saying like 20 is kind of my minimum. That's what I need to lose. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, before like everything with my eyes started, like I was beginning to push 230. I was like, I need to drop 20 pounds.
Mhm.
Now I need to drop 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. I say that with Royal Farms cornbread and sitting right in front of me. But in my defense, I've been carrying this around for a couple of weeks now. So, use by 11:12. Must use by 11:12.
Oh, you better hurry up,
Oh,
man.
oh.
You're pushing it.
So if I eat this on the 13th,
Instant death.
do I see music
And hear colors.
and hear colors? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, but once again, everyone, we'll be sending out a survey to get your feedback.
Yeah.
And that is gigantic. We're already at an hour 20.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to wrap this up.
Yeah. what is the plan? What is the next thing our listeners, subscribers, everyone can look forward to? Are we gonna shoot for February
Okay.
something?
So obviously this is completely tentative, subject to anything and everything. But the vision, I'll give it that. The vision is that you all should be able to hear back from us on the 5th of March. That should be the first episode for the second season.
5th of March. Okay.
Yep. And tentatively,
The Ides.
the title that I had written down for the essay, which would be mine, would be Of the First Amendment and Loyal Opposition. Might be the concept of loyal opposition. Yeah. Hasn't even been written yet, but
You have a concept of a plan.
I have a concept of a idea for that first episode because it's so important. You know, it goes straight to we're talking about how vitriol opinions are, and really that's from nationalism, not patriotism. And so I'll probably be talking about that.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
I think I would like to talk about media literacy in some sense.
Ooh, yeah.
And as I've mentioned,
I'd like more literate people in the media.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But I think I've talked a couple times in various interviews or essays about I used to be an avid C-SPAN listener.
Yeah,
and I really feel like that has influenced how I view the media in general.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the one I'm going to write.
And I also have to mention this. On the way here, I was listening to NPR.
Yeah.
And a single story covered a freaking hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to get a lot more about the issue that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Than I get on any other program.
Yeah, from a soundbite or even a.
And I feel like to a certain extent that's why our format's so important with the essay.
Right.
So you need to get out what you want to say. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. But that's probably what I'll write about. And I haven't written mine yet either. But
yep.
Yeah. So 5th of March.
5th of March. And the last thing that I really want to get out there is if anybody would like to contribute in any way, whether it be writing an essay or whether doing an interview, whether it be behind the scenes, if you know how to do sound editing, if you know how to do marketing, and you want to see the show succeed, I can't pay a squat. I mean, I'm working on a copier technician salary here.
Yeah.
But so you're going to be working out of your own passion. But please, by all means, reach out if you feel this is a worthwhile project to make a positive impact on society and it's something that you can really get behind. Please reach out because we could definitely use the support.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Are we planning if we have an opportunity to do a reactionary episode? Can people look forward to that?
But during the off season,
if something happens, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'd have to be pretty freaking major though.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't have a reactionary episode about No Kings, and we didn't have a reactionary episode about the election.
Right. Yeah.
And both of those things could have been big.
Yeah.
We could have had a reactionary episode about the shutdown.
Yes. Yeah, and we had intended to kind of discuss it a little bit, but who knows? By March 5th,
yeah, we did.
We could
never brought it up.
Yeah, we could still be talking shutdown in March. Who knows?
Yeah, I totally forgot what we were saying at that point. I know the points were good because I'm smart.
Yeah. Got a decent head on your shoulders.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if that's self-deprecating or self-inflated humor.
Yeah.
Maybe a combination of both.
Yeah.
Maybe it's self-inflationary with a hole in it, so it's deflating as well.
You're just trying to pump more in as
more air goes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well,
anything
left?
Fun? No.
Yeah, it's been great.
I am looking forward to the next one.
I kind of almost don't want this episode to end.
I know. I feel the same way.
I love you, Julius.
I love you too, man.
All right, everyone. You have a good day.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to Season 1 of The Ascendant Project. Thank you to all who have contributed to the season by making themselves publicly vulnerable by exposing themselves through writing and interviewing to make this project happen. This includes Julius Knapp, Susan Smyers, and Nick Fisher. Be sure to go to our website, and under Archives, you can browse essays and interviews by name. Thank you to Dirigible Systems for donating recording space and t-shirts, as well as providing general advice and mentorship for everything that is back end. This includes input for the website, growing the podcast, and the business end of this. Dirigible Systems, technology and leadership to get your idea off the ground. And once again, thank you to you, the listener, for lending us your ears, letting us into your minds, and lending us time over this last year. It is you that makes this project worthwhile. See you next year.